Because if you're going to bring it to PC, releasing it in the way that I guess it is looking now, you're probably going to have even more backlash.
Huh?
Hey everyone, I'm back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about the new Red Dead Redemption port for PS4 and Switch, which, by the way, is $50 for no enhancements or anything like that. I mean, yeah, it's 1080p this time, but it's still 30 FPS. No big visual changes. It's just a straight up $50 port, unless if you're on Xbox, which I guess you can just pay $30 or so for backwards compatibility on that copy, but also no PC ports, so yeah, huge missed opportunity. People were hoping for a remake or a remaster, but it just seems like we're not getting that. Instead, we're getting a really lazy port that's overpriced. Now, you may be thinking, well, that sounds objectively wrong there. Why are they charging $50 for a port with little to no enhancements? And you would be right, but this one person, I guess, doesn't think so. I guess they think it's not that bad that they're doing this. So yeah, let's get straight into this.
Red Dead Redemption 1 isn't just a quote-unquote lazy $50 port, it's actually a little bit more than that. Red Dead Redemption 2 has sold nearly 60 million copies of the game, and if you look at where Red Dead Redemption 1 is available at the moment, Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4 are not one of those two. Xbox players can play it through backwards capability, and the PC players have the option of playing it through an emulator, though emulators definitely do require a bit of a higher spec to run it smoothly, and obviously it is not going to be perfect. A official PC version of the game would have been much preferred for many people, and obviously I am inclined to agree. But I feel one of the reasons why there is no PC version is because if you're going to bring it to PC, releasing it in the way that I guess it is looking now, you're probably going to have even more backlash.
I don't see how porting the game to PC would give them more backlash, considering people have been asking that for literally over a decade. But okay, sure, go on. Let's hear what you have to say.
You see, porting it to PC is not just simply bringing the game to PC and that's it. No, there's more to it. Because if you're gonna have to bring it to PC, you'll have to bring it up to 2023 standards, you will have to make sure that it functions well, and obviously, in today's market, you're not gonna be able to just have a PC version that doesn't have a variety of different options.
So what you're saying is, if they're gonna port an old game to PC, then it should meet our standards in terms of PC ports? How is that really too much to ask? I mean, all you really have to do is give us a variety of graphics and frame rate options to meet the individual specs of each user. That's really all there is to it. Or just remaster it, or make a remake of it, one of those. But even then, if we just want a straight port to PC, then really all we're asking is just make it a good port. And it shouldn't really be that big of a deal to ask these developers for a good PC port these days, but apparently a lot of these AAA companies think it is a lot of work for that, but that's a whole nother topic right there.
Bringing a game simply to Nintendo Switch and console is pretty much easier to do, and I think this is obviously where a lot more things come into play. I think most of us will know that Red Dead Redemption 1 has notoriously been reported on to be a complete mess when it came to the coding. It was even a miracle that the game even launched or even functioned when it did. Bringing it to PC, it kind of also means that you're virtually also remastering it and setting that bar of expectations even higher, because then the question becomes, okay, you've brought it to PC.
Okay, just because it's ported to PC doesn't necessarily mean it's a remaster. It would have been nice for a remaster since it's a really old game, but if they just wanted to port it, then I'm sure a lot of people would have been happy with that too, as long as it was on PC, because we've been asked for that for a very, very long time. This guy is acting like making a reasonable PC port is such a hassle, when it's really not, because other developers have done that very easily, and there's been tons of ports of old games to PC that have worked just fine, like Master Chief Collection, for example. But yeah, I get what he's saying with the technical issues Red Dead Redemption has. has with how much of a mess it was technically, and how it's a miracle it even worked on those consoles. But if they managed to port to Switch and PS4, then surely it would have been easy to port to PC too, right? But I don't know about that. That's just speculation at that point.
Which means that it's gonna have to run in 60 FPS or even higher because it's a PC version. Then also meaning that the next gen consoles will become a no-brainer. But are you going to be able to sell the game on next gen when the current version can already be played on Xbox through backwards capability?
Okay, for one thing, it already runs at 60 FPS on the Xbox One X, the Series X, and the PS5. So it shouldn't be that hard to put it on PC if you're claiming that the frame rate is the issue.
PlayStation doesn't have that luxury because A, they removed it from the server a few months ago, as well as the fact that, well, not many people actually have a PS3. PlayStation 5 players can then utilize backwards capability, so this, from a business point of view, made the most sense. It's the less resource intensive, they can outsource it to a different studio, which, by the way, should be noted, is being run by two ex-Rockstar Leeds employees, which have also worked on the original game, meaning that this for the most part is going to be in good hands.
I mean, sure, from a business standpoint, this makes sense. I mean, charge $50 for like a 14-year-old game with little to no enhancements and just take advantage of the lack of backwards compatibility two of the consoles have. Yeah, it makes sense from a business standpoint, but it's not treating its consumers very well, and it kind of communicates that they think we're idiots or something. And they could have easily just did a full-on remake, just utilize the Red Dead 2 engine, reuse some assets to remake the first game. It's really not that difficult, and I'm sure a lot more people would be happy about that, and I'm sure it would result in more sales too.
I mean, just look at how well Resident Evil 2 Remake or Dead Space Remake did and how much hype those got.
It would cost more money to make, and it would take longer to make, but I think it would make their consumers happier and probably result in more money for them as a result of that.
And seemingly what we've seen on Twitter as well from the QA lead, this is not going to be a simple port, it's a little bit more than that. And I don't think that calling this a lazy port is really justifiable, considering the fact that you don't just simply, do copy paste to a different platform, especially with the way that it's seemingly to be looking.
But it is just a lazy port. Are you really gonna take this guy on Twitter's words as face value? I mean, of course he's not gonna say it's a lazy port on Twitter. That'll get him fired if he's a developer for this game. Importing a game to another device isn't really that big of a hassle. It just takes a little bit of time, but it's not as big of a hassle as some developers make it out to be.
People have to remember that the Xbox version that is running through backwards capability is not being done by Rockstar themselves. That's all handled by Xbox internally things. I'm not sure what the whole technicality behind it is, but I know for a fact that when backwards capability was announced by Xbox, they were like, hey developers, you can have stuff through backwards capability, but you don't actually have to do anything for it. We'll just handle everything for you, nice and easy. All you have to do is give us the okay and we'll work our magic. And that's one of the reasons why it's running in 4K, I believe, on the Xbox Series X. I'm not sure if it's running in 60 FPS, I don't think it is, but basically that explains why it's running the way it is on those Xbox systems.
No, it is running on 60 FPS on the Xbox. Just a little bit of research there would have done you some good, but... And the whole point you're making is that it's being outsourced, which, okay, but even if it is being outsourced, like, what does that really have to do with it being overpriced or not a true remaster? Like, are you saying they weren't capable of doing a full-on remake or remaster if it was being outsourced? Because, yeah, I guess that's true, but the whole point people are making is that it would have been better if Rockstar themselves handled this themselves and made a true remaster or remake like people wanted. I don't really know how it being outsourced has to do with anything, really.
Changing it from PS3 to PS4 is a little bit more than just simply porting over the game. There is actual dev time and actual effort that has gone into it. Now obviously on the surface it's not looking like this because of the fact that the game virtually is seemingly looking like the same and we don't really know much about it, and Rockstar really hasn't said anything about it other than the fact that it's coming to the systems and there seemingly is no improvement whatsoever. So what this game is is indeed just simply going to be a game that's been ported over from one system to another, with obviously the enhancements so it runs on the system in a more modern way. I do find it funny how they called it like modern systems, because is the Switch even considered a modern system? Is the PS4 even considered a modern system? Debatable.
No, not really debatable. They're both not current gen systems. This is just a prime example of Rockstar's complacency and laziness. They don't even have a native version on the Xbox or PS5. Just backwards compatible versions. Like, really, come on.
But regardless, the $50 price tag obviously is the biggest grudge here, especially when the Xbox versions can be played for $30 for a brand new copy. That doesn't even include the fact that it goes on sale frequently, and well, those Xbox folks have already got basically the best version that they can play at the moment. $50 is too high of a price point. Maybe 40, probably 30 would have been a better pricing for the game. However, because there seemingly has gone actual dev time into making sure that this game is going to be functioning on those platforms, I'd be inclined to say that that's why it's costing the way it is.
No. Okay, so yeah, some dev time went into making these new ports, but they could have easily just charged the same amount they do on the Xbox. It's literally just Rockstar being greedy and treating their customers like idiots. That's really all there is to it, man. $50 for a port of a 14-year-old game is just really insulting, to be honest. You know, Baldur's Gate 3 had a lot of dev time put into it, and that's a $60 game, and it's brand new, so I don't really think $50 for a port is really on the same level as that.
Also, we're probably kind of forgetting the fact that the reason why it is $50 is because they can probably ask the price for it, because guess what? The market always decides. Everyone that's currently screaming on Twitter saying this is the worst thing to ever happen to mankind is going to pick up the game next week and scream about on Twitter how much they're loving to replay the game again. That is because Rockstar knows suckers are going to pay the money for it.
I mean, yeah, what you're saying is true, but that doesn't mean we have to be happy about it or be defending it like you are. I just don't understand this. Why are you defending this? Like, yeah, I mean, I'm not really one to be outraged over things, but it just doesn't really make sense to be defending this, really.
Red Dead Redemption 2 has sold nearly 60 million copies. There is a large market of folks who are not on Xbox or have the capabilities of running this on an emulator and are on PlayStation 4 when they got Red Dead Redemption 2. And also the Nintendo Switch crowd that might want to play it as well because they never were able to either. There you go. A large market of people who never played the game, and Rockstar is going to make a boatload of money with this. I think we have to keep in mind as well that this is being outsourced, which is obviously making a lot of people nervous. I get it. Personally, I'm of the opinion of don't mock it until you try it, which obviously I am going to do. Follow me on Twitch. So I'm kind of mostly reserving my opinions about how the game looks and how it functions and all that stuff until I've actually played the game.
Okay, I can respect that. Holding off judgment until it actually comes out, that's fine, but judging by Rockstar's track record with outsourcing stuff, especially remasters and ports, I don't have a ton of faith in this, especially considering, you know, GTA Definitive Edition Trilogy, whatever you want to call it, just looked terrible.
Obviously, I'll be playing on PS5 through the backwards capability. Maybe we'll allow for some higher frame rates. I don't think that's going to happen because I guess a game like Red Dead Redemption 1 is probably going to be locked to 30 FPS for various reasons. If you ever played GTA 4 above 60 FPS, you know there's some really funky stuff going on. Bikes start sliding like crazy, and I speak from experience because I've been replaying the game on PC over the past week or so, and well, anything above 60 FPS produces some very funky and interesting things to happen, so that's probably why you're not going to be seeing this game reaching anything over 30 FPS, sadly.
Well, they already confirmed it's going to run at 60 FPS on the PS5, and it already does on the Xbox, so I think you just kind of missed some information there, but whatever.
Red Dead Redemption re-releasing on PS4 and Nintendo Switch really is just one of those things where they were able to outsource this to a different studio so they can continue on focusing what's important to Rockstar themselves at the moment, which is GTA 6.
I mean, Rockstar could easily develop multiple games at once. Lots of other developers do it. Look at Insomniac, and Insomniac is way tinier than Rockstar. Like, Rockstar has pretty much unlimited resources, but they're just choosing not to utilize any of them because they become complacent and lazy.
I know I'm bringing up GTA 6 in this whole situation, but I think that anything that isn't GTA 6 at the moment that's being announced from Rockstar is going to be received with backlash and just sheer hatred.
I don't understand how you came to that conclusion. I mean, yeah, people are eager for GTA 6, but a lot of people also wanted Red Dead Redemption to get a remake or remaster, or to at least get ported to PC and all other modern systems, which none of that happened. Like, people don't like Rockstar just for GTA 6, you know, like, I'm sure they want other stuff from them too, it's just they've gotten so complacent and lazy and take forever for everything that it's just not even worth thinking about Rockstar for the most part, because we're not even going to get anything from them for a very long time.
And it doesn't also matter how much you're screaming boycott, I'm not getting this, and this is the worst thing that ever happened, because we all know what's going to happen. The moment that they drop that first screenshot or that first announcement for GTA 6, you'll forget everything that ever happened in the past at Rockstar, and you'll just be sitting there on your couch waiting until it actually finally releases. And I want to make it clear as well, I'm not defending the $50. I'm not defending the fact that, you know, them just porting it over from PS3 to PS4 and Nintendo Switch is like the best thing that ever happened. Would I have loved to see enhancements being made, you know, a remaster or a remake or anything like that? Of course. Would I have loved to see it on PC? Definitely. Would I have loved to see 60 FPS? 100%. But I think if those things were actually within the realm of possibilities and the goals that they had, then they would have done that. But I think that if you're going to do a proper remaster and a proper remake, it was going to have to be done by the people in-house at Rockstar North or any of their studios. Because the way that I look at it, I don't think Rockstar themselves are interested in remastering or remaking old games.
I don't know, you're definitely coming across like you're defending them. And why wouldn't they be interested? I mean, obviously they aren't interested or else they would have done it, but it's just really stupid that they aren't. Like, look at the Dead Space remake again, and all these other developers that are remaking and remastering games. Plus, if you remake or remaster a game, that's actually less work than just making a brand new game. So I just don't really understand the argument here.
Why? Very simple. They're more interested in crafting GTA 6 or crafting a new experiences instead of just looking back and seeing whatever they can do. That's why those external studios are being hired, so they can keep focusing on what's important to them as well as the majority of their fans.
Okay, so you say that taking devs away from GTA 6 is a waste, but I don't really fully agree with that. Like, we're talking about Rockstar here, which is owned by Tencent, which is pretty much one of the biggest gaming companies ever. They have more than enough resources to work on multiple projects, like other developers do too, for example, Insomniac or Bethesda. You know, it's really not that hard to have multiple people work on multiple different projects too. Okay, maybe Bethesda wasn't the best example, but still, like Insomniac, they've released like 3 games in the past 2 years, and they were pretty solid too, so it's not like Rockstar is struggling to create new things, or it would be a waste of time to revisit old games. It's just that they're too lazy to do any of that. It's kind of a well-known fact at this point. Yeah, but that's about it for this video. The rest is just his outro, and we don't really need to watch that. But yeah, not a super great defense of the Red Dead Redemption remaster. I mean, I know he said it wasn't a defense, but it kind of comes across that way, and it didn't get a super great like to dislike ratio either, so yeah, that'll do it for this video. See you later.